Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, coming at you with my next SO Pokemon set. Today we're going to be discussing Mawile, who I think is one of the most underappreciated steel types in the game. But, I mean, look at it, it's awesome looking. It has a mouth for a hair. I don't know any other Pokemon that has that. Seriously though, um, this set is pretty much a all-around set for him. He can do a lot of damage, but he probably isn't like the most physical or the best physical attacker in the game. So you'll see how this set works out and how it can severely cripple teams if used correctly. And you hide a lot of the moves from your opponents. Like you can have them thinking you're going to do something else when you really have another move waiting to punish them. So I think this is really interesting, so let's take a look. Now this Mawile can either be an Adamant or an Impish Nature. With Adamant, you'll have more attack for your Sucker Punch, so you can make Mawile a better revenge killer that way. Or with an Impish Nature, you could give it more defense, which will make it more bulky and be able to take more hits, especially, which is always a plus because he's a Steel type, or it's a Steel type, I guess, so you can pick the gender, and Steel resists a lot of things, so it is always good to have the extra defense and making him more of a physical wall, so to speak, especially when he's a Steel type. Now, you might be wondering, well, why Mawile in the first place when you can have Registeel or Steelix, because they are obviously more prominent Steel types in the UU-NU metagame, but the thing is they don't pack the ability Intimidate and a lot of the other moves that I have selected for this set. So with Intimidate, you will also be lowering your opponent's attack even more. So with that coupled with the max defense I give in the EV spread, that's what the 252 HP EVs and the 252 defense EVs is for, you'll be taking a ton of hits with this thing, and that is always a plus. The 4 attack is there to make its attack stat just a little bit higher, and I'm sorry about the background noise, people are walking around the dorms, but the 1 attack really isn't going to make that big of a difference, I don't think. The item is Leftovers, and I know that I've said I was going to stop making so many sets that use Leftovers, but for this one it's really necessary because you won't be taking a lot of damage against physical attackers, so the Leftovers can pretty much solve that problem easily. Now for the moveset. As I mentioned before, it has Sucker Punch, which makes it a very surprising revenge killer, since most people don't even really know what kind of moves Mawile can hold to begin with. So, because it's really never used, even in never used. So, the Sucker Punch can always be a surprise kill on your opponent, and it also can do damage to, obviously, like Psychic types and Ghost types. And it can, I believe, I don't know if it can one-hit KO Alakazam in one shot, but I wouldn't be surprised if it could. And then the other move, Super Fang, is just an excellent move to have on any team, I think, because it pretty much halves, it does half the HP of any Pokemon that isn't Ghost type, which means they will have significantly, if they don't have a team that has Leftovers or recovery moves or something like that, they will be seriously crippled. And with Super Fang along with Sucker Punch, you can be essentially, hopefully, taking out your opponents if you're predicting right. Like maybe after 2 Super Fangs, they're down to 25% of their health, and then you can Sucker Punch the rest of it off, depending on how bulky they are, how much damage your Mawile can do in the first place. So it's pretty good. Now, Toxic is meant to work alongside Super Fang and Sucker Punch because it'll be obviously doing constant damage to your opponent, and it is always good for a wall type Pokemon to have Toxic to be wearing down the opponent so that it can't, I mean, the opponent will die before you lose your HP because you're physically defensive in this case. And it also works alongside Super Fang and Sucker Punch really well because you can Super Fang them to half their HP and then Toxic them and then Super Fang them again, and then they pretty much have nothing left. And if they go for an attack move, you can Sucker Punch. I mean, that's how it ideally will work. But it's always good to have Toxic anyways, like on reserve, so you can always switch Mawile in just to Toxic and then get it out of there. Now the last move, Swagger, works out fantastically because you are a physical wall, and even though Swagger boosts your opponent's attack by 2 stages, like as it would with the Swords Dance, you'll still be able to take hits like crazy because your defense and your multiple resistances with your steel typing will essentially make up for it. So this is kind of like a utility Mawile, I guess you could say, because it is meant to do essentially everything. It can Toxic, it can confuse your opponents, it can revenge kill, and it can halve their HP. And I mean, all 4 of these moves would be or are extremely useful on any team. And the Intimidate ability also helps out a lot, and you are a defensive wall. So really, this Mawile is extremely versatile, and I actually use it for my NU UU team that I use on Shoddy Battle, which I pretty much test all these sets out on. And I've not had a better lead to use since I started using this one because it can do everything for you essentially. So I suggest you guys, I mean, I really suggest you guys try this out, especially with like a UU or NU team that you're using, because it's surprising and it will do everything you need it to. Trust me on that. So I hope you guys enjoy the set and you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think because I always want feedback. And I guess have a good day or a good night wherever you are. Bye.